Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's live. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I am just making sure that I'm good on Instagram as well. So, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Please share this with your friends. Today, what I want to talk to you guys about is the reasons why you should not adopt. Okay. I did a video a couple of weeks ago called Three Reasons Not to Adopt. And this was really geared towards just giving more understanding about having the right reasons to adapt. How well, good afternoon. Please tell me where you're watching from, your city and state. And Ro, please share this with your friends so they can hop on. But I'm excited about today's live. And I think, you guys would love this too. I think it's really good for us to talk about the important stuff, because when you desire to adopt, it's easy to just kind of start researching, start looking into how do I actually do this without actually pausing to think through, should I even be doing this in the first place? You know? And so today we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about reasons why you should not adopt. I know that seems counterintuitive because this is an adoption space and I'm an adoption lawyer. That's what I do. And you guys in the group here, you all want to adopt, but I still think it's a really good thing for us to talk about. And even for you to be able to share with your friends and your family, if you have friends who are thinking, oh yes, this is something I'd love to do. This is a great conversation to have with them, you know um, and for them to understand that sometimes it's not everybody is called to adoption and it's okay. So you're from Michigan. Hi, Roel. Well, thanks for joining. All right. So for all of you guys watching on Instagram, can you let me know if you can see me okay, if everything is good? Everything looks okay on that end. Everyone on Facebook, let me know if you must be looking at me. You must be fine. You are on YouTube, Roel, right? YouTube looking all good for everybody? Okay, good. All right, awesome. All right, well, let's jump right into it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lucrece Bundy. I'm an adoption lawyer, and I help families adopt successfully without losing a lot of time, money, or hope in the process. Now, in my space here, I approach adoptions very differently than you would see most people approach adoptions. I'm also a believer, and so I also approach adoptions from a kingdom standpoint, okay? And so a lot of people don't agree with that, and that's okay. Um, excuse me. But yeah, so today I want to talk about, like I said, reasons why you should not adopt. And I talked about three different reasons in my YouTube video, but today I want to focus on one specific one. And this live, actually, I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about today because I actually talked to somebody today specifically about that very thing. So, one of the reasons why I believe that you should not adopt is if you are just deciding not to have your own biological children, like it's just a preference, right? You're like, I don't want to get pregnant. That just seems like it's going to be really cumbersome, so I'm just going to go adopt a child. Okay. That's the one I want to talk about today. And even though I did a video about this and went extensively into this, I actually had a conversation this morning with somebody who was doing just that. And I thought, oh my goodness, how do people get here? But we need to have the conversation. So if you are in a situation where you are just deciding on your own, I don't want to become pregnant, even though you're healthy. Like it's not like you've had some like the doctor tell you that you shouldn't. You're just deciding, I don't want to have a child naturally, and so therefore I'm going to adopt. Guys, that is not a reason to adopt. Okay. That is not a reason to adopt. You can make that choice. Of course, you can decide, yes, I don't want to have biological children. And I actually know a family who've decided to do just that. They are happy just being married and they don't want to have kids, and that's fine. But to substitute adoption because you don't want to have your own biological children, for me, says a lot. It says that there's a lot of education that's missing about the topic of adoption. And so, if that's you, I really, really want to encourage you to take the time to really learn about adoption, the complexities of adoption, the emotional roller coaster of adoption, and all of the things that come with adoption. Because I think for someone who is thinking, I don't want to have my own biological child, so I'll adapt. I'm assuming that they're thinking that having your own biological child is the same as adoption. And that's where you are very, very wrong. Okay. Going into adoption with that mindset will really hurt you and your adopted child. And this is why. Number one, adoption is not the same thing as having your own biological child. I mean, it goes without saying, right? You didn't birth the child, you adopted the child. Okay, that's like obvious. But even deeper than that, your adopted child already has a biological family. That means that they come with their own they come with their own history. They had a biological mom, they had a biological father, they have the genes of their biological family. Everything about them is from that biological family's tree. So they didn't come from your biological line. That's really, really important to grasp. Because if you don't grasp that and you think, oh, I don't want to have a baby, so I'll just go adopt a child as if it was like a replacement of some kind, like I said, it's going to hurt you as the adoptive parent because you will be shocked when your adopted child wants to go look for the biological family. It'll be hurtful for the adoptive child because it's like the mindset that you went into with adoption was like a replacement thing. And your adopted child should never be a replacement for you for either a loss of your own biological child or like a nice thing to do because you don't want to have your own biological kids. Like that is honestly that's really twisted. Um and for anybody who has actually thought that way, please don't take this the wrong way, but the work that I do, I'm very proud of the work that I do when it comes to adoption. And I really want the families that I educate to be educated. You guys, we are not adopting because it's like a nice thing to do. Adoption is not something nice to do, like, oh, I'm going to go give money to a charity, like a nice thing that you're doing to contribute to society. That is not what adoption is, guys. It's not like I'm going to go on a mission trip for a month and I'm going to go feed orphans or something. That's like a nice like charity thing to do. Adoption is not a charity, guys. Like, it's not a charity. It's not a good Christian project. And it's not something you should do just because you call yourself a Christian either. Now, I firmly believe that every single Christian should, in some way, be caring for vulnerable children, whether that's fostering, volunteering, jail, CASA, whatever. I think we should all be involved in the process somehow, but I do not believe that every believer should adopt. I think that you should adapt if you have the right perspective about adoption, you have the right understanding about adoption, and you know why you're doing it. Like it's not just a nice thing to do because you want a baby. So this lady I was talking to on the phone today, which prompted me to have this live today, she said to me, you know, I just I said, what's your reason for adopting? Like, what's your motivation? Because I love to hear from people why they want to do it. And she said, well, it's because I don't want to be pregnant. And I said, oh, okay, well, why don't you want to be pregnant? And she said, I'm just scared of being pregnant. And so I want to adopt instead. And I thought, okay, so you want to adopt because you're scared of being pregnant. And there was like no medical issues. It's just that's just kind of she decided like I don't want to get pregnant because I've heard of horror stories about pregnancies and so I want to do adoption, right? As if like doing adoption I don't. So do you guys see what I'm saying here? Do not, please don't look into adoption because you don't want to have your own biological children. Okay, so I talked about two reasons. The first reason, I talked about why you should not look into adoption because you simply just don't want to be pregnant. I said the first reason was because adoption is not the same thing as having your own biological child. And the second reason was because that adopted child comes with their own biology. Like they don't belong to you biologically, right? They don't belong to your family tree or your family genes, which actually means a lot. It really matters for you to understand that, right? because mostly your adopted child may not really feel, even if you love them with everything you have, like you welcome them, you treat them as your own, right? That's what every adoptive parent should do. That's a given, right? You adopt your child, but it's your child. Like you've taken them in. This is your son or daughter for all intents and purposes and legally. It doesn't change the fact that your adopted child may still feel out of place. And the reason why they might feel that way is because you are now their biological mother, and it's nothing against you or your family, but biology does matter in that sense, right? So if you don't have that understanding that your adopted child may go through these times where they're questioning, like, I just don't like feel like I don't belong here, or yes, I know you love me, but I don't know. Those are real questions. Like those are, it's normal for an adopted child to feel that way because, and it's also normal for an adopted child to want to find their birth family because it's who they are. Like it's where they came from, and it's really important for an adopted child to know where they came from. It's their history. Do I have my father's nose or my father's ears or my father's lips? Like, do I have my mother's smile or her personality? Excuse me. Or things like that. And so it would be traumatizing for an adopted child for you to adopt a child just because you wanted to like not have your own, you know? Um, and so I wanted to just do this quick live. I wanted to literally come in and come out, but I really want to stress this point for any of you who have been following me for any length of time. Listen, you guys, like I'm now one of those that you will find on Google, like the agencies who are like, you want to adopt, call us. And they just take your information and they start matching you. No, I believe that adoption should be done from a place of understanding, a place of education, and a place where you are actually healthy and whole emotionally so that you can be the best adoptive parent that we can be. I believe that for us to really kind of turn the way that adoption has been going for a while, that it's up to us parents who want to adopt to actually be the best adoptive parents that we can be in the sense of education, in the sense of prayer, in the sense of understanding of what adopted children go through, being willing to sit with them in that. But also, we can't forget and we can just like shut this out either. God, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the adoption space, there's not a lot of God being talked about in the adoption space. There's a lot of trauma being talked about, yes, and all of the things that I just said, but I don't see God invited in that space very much. And so for me, something else that's extremely important for adoption is for God to be the center of it. Right? Is this something that God is calling your family to? Because it definitely is something that is not an easy cakewalk. And so if you don't have strong faith and if you don't know that God has called us to this, He's called us to do this, it's going to be difficult to stay the course and to make it through, all the ups and downs of adoptions. I also posted a video last week about rehoming. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch it. If you haven't, man, go on my YouTube channel and watch it. It's called Discarded Children, but it's about rehoming. And the reason why I wanted to make this video was to, again, like re, um, to help you guys to really understand how critical it is for us to do adoption from a healthy perspective, from a godly perspective, and not just from a space of selfishness in the sense of like, I want a baby. And so you go adopt. I don't want to have my own child. So you go adopt. I want to rescue a child. So you go adopt. That place can get us in trouble. And this is one of the reasons why we see so much rehoming happening are families who actually adopted children. And then after, it's become real and all these maybe behaviors that weren't out there are now coming out, the parents bail out because I believe the motivation for doing this in the first place was not right. Okay. And so, sorry, 1 second. So, it is traumatizing for a child for you to adopt a child just because you don't want to have your own biological child. Now, I know I may get a lot of flack on this, and I did a little bit on my YouTube channel when I did that YouTube video, but absolutely, I believe that this is one of the reasons why you should not adopt. So, again, if you are right now of the mindset of like, let me just adopt a baby because I don't want to have my own biological children, please don't. Do yourself a favor and really educate yourself on adoption. Don't just go pursuing adoption from that space, okay, from that motivation, because it's not going to serve you or the children, okay? Now, um, before I leave, I want to leave all of you guys with this. For all of you who are serious about adopting, okay, you've gotten yourself to this place where, I'm sorry, hang on one second. You have gotten to this place where, sorry, my son was out there. You've gotten yourself to this place where you know adoption is the right path for you to take. Okay. You know that this is what God has called me to. I know that this is the next step I need to take to grow my family. Maybe you've been reading more about it, you've been getting more knowledge about it. If that's you and your desire is to be the best adoptive parent that you can be, and you understand a little bit of the complexities of adoption and you want to do this right. I know that there's not a right way to do everything, but you want to do this to the best of your ability. If that's you, I want to invite you to apply to work with me and join the Adoption Success Accelerator program. Okay. In that program is a 12-month program where I walk with you step by step through the entire adoption process so that you can adopt successfully within 12 months. Now, I know that sounds like 12 months. Yes, you can adopt within 12 months, not because there is some crazy like miracle thing that we're doing, but when you actually understand the process and how it works and you're positioned to do this right and well, you can adopt a child within 12 months when you know how to navigate through the process and how to do this well. So if that's you and you're in that space where you're like, okay, I've been thinking about this for a while. I know this is the right thing for me. I want to do this right. I don't want to traumatize my adopted child. I don't want to have the wrong motives doing this. I really want to be the best adoptive parent that you can be. I want to invite you to apply to work with me. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the comments and I look forward to hearing from some of you who are interested. I'm gonna see. I think I'm gonna have to put it. Um, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to put that link for Instagram and Facebook because it only showed up on YouTube. So, yep. If that's you and you're like, you know what, Lucrece, this sounds like this is what I want. If you don't want the fanfare that you hear out there and all kind of like the pretty things that you hear all the time, yes, adoption is beautiful, and I am an absolute advocate for adoption. But I also believe that you need to do this from a place of real education, and not just something that you jump into because it sounds nice or because you've seen your friend do it or because you see all these, people on YouTube with their videos about all the 10 children they've adopted from all the different countries and you're like, "Wow, that'd be great. I also wanna do this great, Christian work." No, don't do that. Um, really learn about adoption, understand what it is so that you can really do this well, okay? So again, if that's you, I wanna invite you to go to that link. It's adoptionsuccessaccelerator.com slash apply and go apply to work with me. And I hope to see you there. Until then, you guys, I will see you soon and hope to come on here again and talk more about some good adoption topics. All right. Let me know also in the comments below if there are any specific topics that you want me to talk about during the live. Let me know, and I'd love to talk about it. But again, in this space here, we're all about being serious about adoption. We're serious about being educated. We're not about the fluff or about the shiny objects. We are really here because we have a heart for the children and we want to do this well. Okay. So thanks for being here, all of you. I really appreciate you. Please share this live. Again, share the link with your friends, and I will talk to you guys very soon. All right. And thanks for jumping in, Roel, and for your comments. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye bye.